What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another uniform review video. Alright, so we have two new uniforms that just came out here. We've got the other uniform for Black Widow and Yelena, the white suit for Black Widow and the black suit for Yelena. They are both synergy uniforms, so as you can see here, if you've already bought the previous one, it's going to be just 630 crystals. So if you wanted to pick up the other one, or the newer one, whatever you want to call it, it's the other colored uniform. So let's go ahead and take a look at Black Widow's here first. So the new uniform bonus for her with snowsuit is going to be a 15% chance when dodging to get a 10% heal. It is on a 10-second cooldown, which with that 10-second cooldown all the way below there, it makes it seem like you have to dodge just to get the enhancements to Graceful Dancer and Tactical Advantage, which is not the case. That kind of changes immediately. I just don't like how they put that cooldown below that. I think the green text should have been above it, just kind of just separate it a little bit. But yeah, she does have a heal here, which is nice because that will help her survivability, and I do think a heal would be really strong on Black Widow. I just don't know how reliable this is going to be because it's only a 15% chance and she has to be dodging for it to activate. So I'm not completely sold on this being a very reliable skill and that heal really helping you out a lot. Maybe if they implemented it a little bit differently, then it'd have a lot more value, but right now I just don't really see it being a huge incentive for this uniform. But on the other hand, the one skill change, because she still, it says 5 skill changes, but they're the same 5 skills as the black suit. The only change of the skills here is the 4th skill. So the 4th skill now has Ignore Iframe, which is fantastic, and it also gives her invisibility, which is also fantastic. So those are going to be two really big skills for PvP. So I think this uniform here is going to be a really good PvP option, whereas her previous uniform, the black suit, is going to be really good for PvE content, at least compared to this uniform. So if we look at the 4th skill here, it's also now an iframe as well, because it was not an iframe on her black suit. So that's actually fantastic. So it's going to help out with keeping her safe when using the skill. It will give her more cover whether you're doing PvP or PvE content. And you can see that invisibility is actually lasting after the skill ends, so you definitely have time to get away or run away from the boss or something like that. And also the advantage of this in PvE content is now that it is an iframe and you have invisibility, the boss isn't going to be running away from you, not going to be jumping around the map and have you lose targeting or anything like that, like you can have happen with the black suit. If you don't have any mind control going on, that boss can definitely just dip out of there and get out of your attack range. So then, like the bombs from the helicopter here, so when they drop like this, boom, and you're trying to go into that 4th skill, if you didn't have this iframe like with her black skill, the boss can kind of just get out of there really quickly. So this will solve that issue, but you're going to be missing out on quite a bit of damage with this uniform for PvE content because she's losing her chain hit damage. And then also the change to her 4-star passive is also a little bit different with this uniform. So with her black suit uniform, as it focuses more on damage, she has a higher physical attack with the 4-star passive. I believe it was 30 or 25% physical attack, and then she has a 10% dodge. Over here with the new white suit, or the snow suit uniform, excuse me, is going to be a 25% dodge, but only a 5% physical attack. So she's losing all the physical attack and trading it over to dodge. So yeah, they kind of just are complete opposites of each other. You have more dodge here, more survivability, ignore iframes, so more PvP kind of potential, and then over here you have higher physical attack, you have the chain hit, so you just have more kind of raw damage, but a little less safe than this uniform in terms of keeping her alive. So that's just kind of my impressions of these two uniforms here. So I would just pick up whichever one you think you're going to be using her more for. If you want to focus more on PvP, then I would say get this one. If you want to focus more on PvE, then get this one. If you wanted to be able to do both, then maybe the white suit would actually be the way to go here. Or if you're just having issues with keeping Black Widow alive and you already have this uniform, but you want to increase survivability, you may pick up this uniform anyway for PvE content, just for that iframe and that invisibility, because that'll really help with survivability. But with the black suit, I really haven't been too fussed with her survivability. It's actually been pretty good for me, at least. So I don't know if that's really the route that you would go. But now let's move over to Yelena here. So Yelena, I haven't bought either of her uniforms yet because I was waiting to see what the new uniform was going to do for her before I decided which one to pick up. And it's kind of the same case here for Yelena. For the white suit uniform, this looks like it's mainly going to be more PvP focused if you compare the two uniforms, but I think this uniform is a lot safer and easier to play in PvE content, so that's a little bit disappointing because this uniform here, the black suit, looks like it's going to be focused more for PvE, but it's a little harder to kind of play in PvE content, at least based off the skills that I've noticed here, because it has a few changes. So first off, the uniform bonus. Uniform bonus increasing chain hit damage by 30% now when attacking, and it switches over to ignore defense. So that's all going to be kind of damage potential right there. The chain hit's going to be really good for Yelena because she has quite a high amount of hits on both her 4th and her 5th skill that you're going to be combining together. So yeah, that's what it has over the white suit, because the snowsuit here, as you can see, is just ignore dodge and then decrease damage received. So you see the offensive focused suit here. And then for the 3rd skill, we have a bigger increase for the all attack and crit rate. Goes from, I think, just 30 or 35. Yeah, from 30 to 55%. So that's a pretty good difference right there. We have a 25% increase to all attack and for crit rate, so that's really strong. And then also increased damage by 70% for 1 attack. So you're going to have that applied to your next attack, so you can take advantage of that as well. But for her, sadly, her next attack is going to be one that you cancel, so I'm not sure how much value that'll be, but still, you have the extra damage there regardless. And then the 5th skill now has a higher amount of accumulation. It was only 0.8 before, now it is 1%, so you're going to go from an 80% all attack to 100% all attack. So again, more damage there for this uniform. So let's go ahead and hop into the skill preview here, and you'll see kind of the main thing that she loses if you use the 3rd skill here. It is an iframe at the start, but she no longer gets her invisibility, so she's not going to go invisible after using this skill, which is what really helped with keeping her alive with the snowsuit and keeping the rotation really tight for world boss like PvE content as well. So that's one thing that I don't like that they removed, because if we move over to the 4th skill hasn't changed. 4th skill is still the same for all iterations of Yelena, her base kit and both the uniforms, so none of that has changed. So it's still not an iframe. She does have the damage immunity, so she is protected during it, but she can get guard broken if you get hit by a skill without guard break immunity or anything like that, so you do have to keep that in mind. But the main issue for PvE content is that the boss just jumps and runs away, and that was one thing that I was running into when I was testing out Yelena on the APK with her snowsuit and just her base kit. The boss kept jumping away, and I was losing my targeting, my skills getting canceled out, so that was really frustrating and annoying. But with the snowsuit, it completely fixed that, because you got the iframe and then you turn invisible, and then while you're invisible, it lasts all the way into the 4th skill here, so you're going to be invisible this entire time, so the boss isn't really jumping away from you. So that was one big thing that I liked for the snowsuit in PvE content. Of course, that's really strong in PvP as well. So I'm a little torn between Yelena's uniforms here. The skill rotation is still going to be exactly the same. You get the buff, you go into the skill here, you jump in, and then you go right into the 4th skill. So it's exactly the same cancel as her previous uniform. With the 5th skill, as soon as she jumps forward and lands on the ground, you can cancel into the 4th skill. So none of that has changed. The animation, though, for the 5th skill has changed, if I didn't mention that already. She now has kind of like sniper targeting going on here, or I guess that's targeting for like the missiles or something that she calls in. So really cool. You have the paralyze there, but again, the paralyze is only at the very end of the skill, so you can't take advantage of the paralyze while you're canceling into the 4th skill. If the paralyze happened like right at the start, like right here, and then you go into the 4th skill, so now you have that 3 seconds of paralysis, then that would be a lot better. So if the paralysis was at the start of the 5th skill, then this uniform would be really strong for PvE in terms of at least keeping the boss locked down as well. So that's one change that could really help this uniform for PvE. But in general, this uniform is going to have a lot more damage than her snowsuit. So that's kind of where I'm at with these two uniforms here. I'm not really sure which one I like better, because I am mainly a PvE player, so I don't focus too much on PvP. So then you would think I would get the black suit here, but with the invisibility and the iframe on the white suit here, the white suit is still more appealing to me. So I think I'm still going to get the white suit here, and not the black suit, even though, like I said, the damage, it looks like it's going to be a lot better with the black suit, but I just want that reliability of locking down the boss and not worrying about my skills getting interrupted, and also not worrying too much about my survivability as well. So that's kind of why the white suit appeals more to me. So that's the one I'm going to be picking up right now. But if you want me to actually buy the other uniform and test them side by side to see if what I'm thinking is going to happen actually is correct, then let me know and I'll pick this up for synergy purposes, and also, you know, of course, to make a video so I can compare the two uniforms. But for now, I'm just getting the white suit, so you'll just have to let me know in the comments below if it's something enough people want to see. Then I will pick up the black suit and do a direct comparison between the two. But that's going to be it for this video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully it helped in deciding which of the two uniforms you're going to pick up. If you haven't already picked up the previous one, then you can decide which of the two best suits your needs. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.